Have you ever felt like life was testing you in ways you couldn't explain? Nights when silence pressed on your chest like a weight. Days when people walked away, leaving you wondering if you were forgotten. Moments when attacks came out of nowhere. And yet, somehow, you survived. What if I told you none of that was random? The pain, the losses, the storms weren't punishments. They were hidden tests. Tests you didn't even know you were taking. And the fact that you're still here means something powerful. Listen carefully. You passed the hidden test. And now, your assignment begins. In this video, I'll reveal 7 signs that confirm you already crossed the secret trial. 7 signals that prove heaven has approved you. Here's the key. The last sign isn't just about survival. It's about destiny. It marks the shift from what you went through to what you were born to do. Stay with me until the end, because the final revelation is the one most chosen ones miss, and it changes everything. Before we dive in, a simple ask. If your spirit feels this word is speaking to you, like this video now. Subscribe so YouTube keeps showing you messages that strengthen your journey as a chosen one. And type the number 777 in the comments. 7 is the number of divine completion. It marks the close of one chapter and the beginning of the next. Now, let's go deeper. The first sign that you already passed the hidden test begins where most people think they failed. It begins in the silence. Number 1. The silence you endured was the test. Think about it. The desert doesn't look like promotion. It looks like nothing is happening. No water, no applause, no recognition, just silence. And yet, the desert is heaven's classroom. Because in silence, your roots grow deeper than anyone can see. In silence, you learn to hear the whisper most people miss. Maybe you've been there. Prayers feeling like they bounced off the ceiling. Scrolling through life, wondering if anyone even noticed you. Questioning if your journey mattered. But deserts are never empty. They are sacred proving grounds. Picture gold in fire. The flame doesn't destroy it, it purifies it. The desert did the same for you. It burned away distractions and illusions until only the essence of your calling remained. Here's the hidden truth. The silence wasn't punishment, it was preparation. While you thought nothing was moving, everything was aligning. Your patience, your endurance, your ability to trust without evidence. That was the hidden test. And you passed. Have you noticed that in your deepest silence, your sensitivity sharpened? That you started recognizing signs, patterns, whispers you once ignored? Heaven was tuning your spirit, like an instrument. And no orchestra plays before it's tuned. Your desert was that tuning season. But here's what most people miss. Deserts always have an exit. Not everyone makes it through, but you did, and that proves you were never abandoned. Because when the desert ended, you carried something invisible. Strength, clarity, endurance. Your silence was not wasted. It was the password that unlocked your authority. And authority is what you will need for the assignment ahead. That's why heaven allowed the silence, not to break you, but to build you. So here's your application. Stop resenting the quiet seasons. See them as evidence that you are trusted with hidden training. When silence comes again, and it will, remember this. Chosen ones are forged in the desert, not on the stage, not in the spotlight, but in the silence. But here's where it gets deeper. If silence was a test, what about the battles that came without warning? The arrows you never saw coming? The attacks that made you wonder if you were cursed instead of chosen? Stay with me, because the next sign will reveal why even those attacks were part of your preparation. Number 2. The fact that you're still standing proves you already passed the hidden test. You didn't just face silence. You faced attacks. Some you saw, others you never understood until much later. The betrayals, the sudden losses, the days where it felt like every force pressed against you at once. And yet, here you are. Think about it. How many gave up after smaller storms? How many never made it past the first battle? But you endured attacks designed not just to wound you, but to end you. And they failed. Why? Because there was a shield you couldn't see. A covering that made no sense logically. but spiritually was undeniable. Arrows flew, fire surrounded you, and somehow you walked through without being consumed. This isn't exaggeration, it's evidence. Your survival wasn't luck, it was destiny. Have you ever looked back and thought, I should have lost it there, but I didn't? That's not random, that's a marker of the chosen. Attacks don't come against the average, they come against those carrying treasure. Think of it this way, thieves don't break into empty houses. The enemy didn't attack you because you were weak, but because you were valuable. And here's the paradox. Every attack became confirmation. Every time the fire came and you survived, heaven was saying, your mission is bigger than you know. Your scars are not signs of defeat. They are receipts of victory. Each scar proves you faced a battle and lived to tell the story. They certify you as someone who survived the fire. So stop hiding your scars. Speak from them. Because your scars will open doors that your strengths never could. People trust the voice that has survived the fire. But let's open a loop here. If silence was training and attacks were confirmation, what about the battles no one else could see? What about the tests that happened in private? Stay with me, because number 3 will uncover why your hidden endurance is the greatest proof that heaven has already approved you. Number 3, you kept faith when no one was watching. This is what separates the called from the chosen. It's one thing to stand strong when everyone claps. It's another to stay faithful when no one knows your name. Most people can perform when the lights are on, but who are you in the shadows, when prayers go unanswered, when the applause is gone, when no one checks on you and your journey feels invisible? That's where the real test happens, not in the spotlight, but in the secret place. Picture a single candle in a dark cave, no audience, no recognition, just light, faithfully burning, refusing to go out. That was you, that was your test. Have you noticed how you still prayed when heaven felt silent? Still whispered gratitude when life made no sense? Still carried love even when betrayal left you bleeding? That was hidden endurance. And you passed. What you sustain in private is what heaven trusts in public. If your devotion only exists in the spotlight, it's fragile. But if you can worship in the shadows, you can be trusted with the stage. This is why you've often felt unseen. It wasn't rejection. It was protection. Heaven hid you so your foundation could grow strong away from the noise. Because public platforms expose weakness, but private devotion builds strength. While you thought nobody noticed, heaven was watching. Every tear, every prayer, every small act of obedience, none of it was wasted. Application: keep the hidden practices. The prayer, the journaling, the quiet acts of kindness, because these are the anchors when storms come. The mission ahead won't be sustained by talent, but by the secret strength you've already built. Have you felt that your greatest victories were unseen, that nobody clapped, yet heaven nodded in silence? That's the mark of the chosen. Faith in secret is the contract of heaven, and once you signed it with endurance, your destiny was sealed. But don't miss this. The hidden endurance also exposed something about people around you. Not everyone could handle your light, which leads us to the next sign. Number 4 will reveal why certain relationships had to end, and why the pruning was proof that fruit was on the way. Number 4, people walked away, and that was part of the test. Few things cut as deep as losing relationships you thought would last forever. Friends, mentors, even family. People you trusted suddenly distanced themselves, or even turned against you. In the moment, it felt like rejection, like betrayal, like abandonment. But it wasn't. It was pruning. Picture a tree in autumn. Leaves fall. Branches look bare. It looks like death. But pruning prepares the tree for fruit. That's exactly what happened in your life. Some relationships were removed not because you failed, but because you were about to grow. And heaven knew not everyone can grow with you. Have you noticed this? When you started awakening spiritually, some people couldn't handle it. Conversations felt different. The connection was gone. Some even mocked what they couldn't understand. That wasn't coincidence, and it was alignment. The test was this: would you cling to relationships that kept you small, or trust heaven enough to let them go? And you passed. Losing people was not proof of weakness. It was proof of readiness. Chosen ones are often misunderstood. Not everyone sees the vision you carry. Not everyone feels the fire inside you. So heaven, in mercy, removed what would have suffocated you in the next chapter. Painful? Yes. Necessary? Absolutely. Think of it like this: a rocket can't lift off if it's weighed down. The shedding of people, places, and patterns was the shedding of weight, so you could ascend. Application: stop chasing those who walked away. Stop rehearsing the why. Stop asking what you did wrong. You did everything right. That's why heaven trusted you enough to prune you. Pruning is proof that fruit is on the way. The very fact you experienced loss means abundance is coming. But let's go deeper. Because if silence was training, attacks were confirmation, and endurance was approval, then pruning was alignment. And alignment always points to something greater. Which brings us to the next sign. Number 5 will reveal why your deepest wound wasn't a tragedy, but the birthplace of your assignment. Number 5. Your deepest wound became the birthplace of your assignment. Every chosen one carries a scar, not a surface scratch, but a wound so deep it almost redefined them. Maybe betrayal, maybe loss, maybe a failure so heavy you thought you'd never recover. In that moment, it felt like the end, but somehow, it didn't kill you. It birthed something in you. Picture a pearl. An oyster is wounded when a grain of sand enters its shell. The irritation should destroy it, but instead, it forms layer after layer until the wound becomes a pearl, a treasure born out of pain. That's what happened to you. Your wound became your pearl. Your pain became your purpose. Your tragedy became training ground. Have you noticed? The very area where you suffered most is where you feel the strongest pull to help others. Your compassion, your fire, your message flows out of what once broke you. That's not coincidence. It's divine design. Your pain was the password that unlocked your purpose. The enemy tried to bury you with that wound, but heaven turned it into the seed of your calling. Now, every time you speak or serve from that place, you walk in assignment. Application: stop running from your wound. Face it, own it, turn it outward. Because what you survived is what others need to hear. Your scars carry more authority than polished advice ever could. But don't miss this. Everything until now was preparation. The silence, the attacks, the endurance, the pruning, even the wound. All of it shaped you, but it was never the destination. Everything up to now was the wilderness. What comes next is the reason you were chosen. Because if pain revealed purpose, the next sign reveals confirmation. The undeniable synchronicities that prove heaven has been guiding you all along. Number 6. Divine patterns and signs started following you. Have you noticed strange alignments lately? Repeating numbers, dreams more vivid than usual? Meeting someone at the exact moment you needed them? Doors opening that logic can't explain. These are not random. They are synchronicities, heaven's fingerprints on your path. Picture walking through a forest, unsure of the trail, but seeing stones carefully placed along the way. That's what synchronicities are. Markers whispering, yes, you're on the right track. Some call it coincidence, others call it luck, but chosen ones know it's confirmation. Sometimes heaven speaks through patterns when words aren't enough. Think of the times you saw the same number everywhere, or a verse appeared in a book, a video, and a conversation, all in the same week. That's alignment. That's heaven guiding you with precision. When heaven trusts you with an assignment, it speaks to you in patterns you can't ignore. The world will dismiss it. They'll call it superstition, but your spirit knows better, because the signs weren't for them. They were for you. Why does heaven use synchronicities? Because chosen ones walk by faith, and faith requires a language beyond logic. Repeating numbers, divine appointments, uncanny alignments. They're heaven's way of saying, trust the unseen. I'm already ahead of you. Have you noticed? The more you leaned into your spiritual journey, the stronger the patterns became. That's not a phase. It's progression. It means the hidden test has ended and the guidance system of heaven is active over your life. Application. Stop brushing off the signs. Write them down. Pay attention. Treat them as breadcrumbs leading you to your assignment, because they are. Here's the shift. If silence was the test, attacks confirmation, endurance approval, pruning alignment, and pain purpose, then synchronicities are the signposts that you're no longer just surviving. You're being guided. And guided for what? Not to wander, but to step into the final revelation. Mini cliffhanger. The patterns weren't leading you in circles. They were leading you to a moment, and that moment is now. Stay with me. Because number 7 is the assignment itself, the reason you walked this path all along. Number 7, the hidden test is over. Your mission begins. Everything until now was preparation. The silence, the attacks, the endurance, the pruning, the wound, the synchronicities. All of it was shaping you for this exact moment. You didn't survive just to survive. You endured to be trained and positioned for an assignment greater than your pain. Picture a weary traveler reaching the mountain summit. Their clothes torn, feet blistered, body exhausted. But at the peak waits a golden key. The climb was never about the pain. It was about the authority to carry the key. That's you. Heaven wasn't testing you to break you. It was trusting you to carry a mission. And now the mission is in your hands. The greatest proof you passed the hidden test is not that you're alive. It's that you're assigned. If you were here only to exist, the storms would have destroyed you. The silence would have suffocated you. The wound would have swallowed you. But they didn't, which means heaven preserved you for purpose. Your assignment isn't someday. It begins now. In your words, in the people you uplift, in the wisdom carried by your scars, in the light released when you step into who you already are. And here's the paradox. The assignment isn't about striving, it's about being, not becoming something else, but stepping fully into what you already are, chosen, anointed, trusted. Have you noticed how people come to you for advice? How strangers feel safe telling you their stories? How your words pierce deeper than usual? That's not random. That's your assignment revealing itself. Application. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Your assignment doesn't begin when you feel ready. It begins when you say yes. And heaven has already said yes over you. Here's the closing loop. The silence was the classroom. The attacks, the evidence, the pruning, the alignment, the wound, the seed, the signs, the guidance. But the assignment, this moment right now, is the reason for it all. Hear this clearly. The hidden test is over. The wilderness is behind you, and your destiny begins the moment you accept the assignment waiting for you all along. Stay with me, because the conclusion will tie everything together and reveal why this message wasn't for everyone, but was handpicked for you. You didn't find this message by accident. Out of all the videos you could be watching, heaven guided you here. This is your confirmation. The hidden test is over, and your assignment has begun. Look back for a moment. Every silent night, every unseen battle, every private act of faith, every relationship that fell away, every scar that became a story, every sign that kept following you. None of it was random. It was heaven's language, preparing you for this exact moment. Not everyone will understand. Some will laugh, some will dismiss it. But that's okay, because this message wasn't for everyone. It was for you. The one who knows deep down, I was chosen for something greater. And hear me clearly, your assignment doesn't wait for another day. It begins today. Every word you speak carries weight. Every step you take is guided. Every scar you bear is authority. Every act of obedience from here forward is part of your destiny unfolding. The chosen don't wait for tomorrow. They step into destiny today. So here's your call. Step forward. Stop doubting your value. Stop apologizing for your fire. Stop shrinking to fit into places you've already outgrown. The hidden test proved you can carry the mission. Now it's time to live it. If this word resonated in your spirit, don't keep it to yourself. Share this message with another chosen one who needs the same confirmation. Because sometimes, a single word of truth can ignite someone else's destiny. And I want you to seal this moment with a declaration. If you made it this far, type in the comments right now. I am stepping into my destiny. Writing it, declaring it, and sealing it with action is the first step to living it. And don't leave yet. What comes next will prepare you for the battles that follow your calling. So click the video on your screen now, because your journey doesn't end here. It's only beginning.